Hi friends, special treat for you today. We are going to be running in the trails. I drove over to some limestone trails, and so you're going to really get to hear in nature today. I am excited to share this with you. It was definitely worth doing, and I think you're going to enjoy this. Be sure to take a picture of where you're running, and I'd love to see it as well. All right, shall I pass it over to me and we'll begin our together run. Good morning, friends. As I said, a special treat for you today. Really excited to just do a different run together along the Merrimack, I believe it's called the Merrimack Trail. I don't even know, but I'm here just outside of St. Louis. Well, let's start running and then I'll tell you a little bit. Okay, so are you ready? We're going to start in 3, 2, 1 and go. Firstly, I want to say it's actually 43 degrees, which is Fahrenheit, that is, which is a little chillier than I have been running in. And I thankfully brought a long sleeve with me, but definitely a little on the cold side. So if I'm kind of making that shivery noise for a few minutes, that's why. But I was going to do my long run along the, yes, I see the sign now, Merrimack Greenway, and it's a trail. I'm going to go off into the technical trail for a while, but first I thought, why not do a guided run, like fully out in nature on this beautiful crushed limestone, or I think that's what it is, crushed limestone path, and just share this, the quiet, the river. Can you hear that? Maybe not. Just share this so that if you don't have somewhere like this you can run, and I know that is a privilege, then you can do the next best thing, which is hear me running on it and imagine yourself there, or you can think about where you are. But I thought this would be a great thing to do. And just, other than my fingers are going to be a bit cold, it's going to be a beautiful morning. And so I'm excited. So we are going to begin as we normally would by doing a scan down from your head to your toes. I'm going to give you a few prompt parts along the way, but see what parts you notice. See how the various bits of your body feel as you go through. You may notice something I don't mention. Wonderful. Or, well, if it doesn't feel good, maybe it doesn't feel wonderful, but good that you are paying attention and listening to your body. All right. So you ready? Let's begin. Start with the top of your head. Scan down through your eyes. Relax your eyes. Your ears. Your chin. Relax your jaw if it's tense. Into your neck muscles. Back and front. Your shoulders. Your arms, upper arms, lower arms. To your chest, your stomach, into your hips, into your pelvis, into your quads and hamstrings, knees, calves, I should say, into your ankles, your feet, and your toes. How does that feel? Anything jumping out to you? We will check back in middle of the run, well, around the 25-minute mark, and we'll check in again, or we'll check in probably a smaller time near the end of the 45-minute run. But how do you feel? Any areas feel sore to you or tight? Did you have to loosen anything? If you notice tension in your arms or in your shoulders, shake them out. Do that right now anyway. It just feels good. Shake your arms out. I don't mean like a, up and down, all over shake, but just straighten them out, give them a jiggle. Yeah, feels good, doesn't it? All right, and then mentally, if I were to ask you if we were going to sit down for an hour, so we haven't got a rushed time, and I asked you, how are you? And I wanted a real answer, what would you say? Yep, I really wanted you to think through that. Just take a few more moments. We'll check it in at the end as well and see if anything's changed from the beginning to the end in terms of how you're feeling. But for now, how are you? For me, I was just listening to the Rich Roll podcast with Dr. Matthew Walker, who's a sleep expert, and really interesting podcast. Definitely recommend listening. But it is kind of daunting and flipping my world upside down in terms of I feel confused. My whole life I've got up early, I've been told you need to do that, and this podcast is basically saying it's not the right choice. But I am a mother of 2 young children, so here I am as I'm recording this. It's just gone 6 a.m. And had I slept in to do this, really inconveniences the rest of my family. So I'm feeling confused, but also optimistic. And that's for other reasons. Got a phone call I'm going to do tomorrow that's potentially for something exciting. So yeah, that's what I would describe myself as. What about you? All right, we'll go on to my favourite part of this, which is to do the check-in with our senses. So we'll work through the easy ones for now. I will give you some time after each one, less time for the first few, but give you some time. Pause the recording for the hearing if you want to, or if you can take your headphones out or something so you can listen to yours, that's fine. But let's begin with taking a nice deep breath together. What do you smell? I just smell the trees. I don't know if my senses are just not that great. Sorry, my nose smell. But for me, it's just like that general, naturey smell, which I love. And so that's what I smell. I taste Picky Bars oatmeal, which is what I had for breakfast this morning before I came out here. Really good, by the way. You can go to pickybars.com/Tina to get yourself, I think it's an additional 20% off the membership, which already gets, I believe, 10, 20 or 30, or maybe even, I think 10, 20 and 30% off. And here you go, I haven't planned this because I can't remember the exact amount, but it's a massive discount if you sign up for Picky Club. So that's picky.com/Tina. But yeah, so that's what I taste in my mouth, the remnants of that. All right, next one. What do you hear? I'm just going to give you some time to work through that one. What do you hear? just take a little bit of time right now to appreciate those sounds. I apologize if you pause the recording and you have to pause it again. But let's just soak in those noises for a minute, especially if you can hear any kind of nature or rhythmic sounds, because those are comforting to us as human beings. So let's just take an extra moment for that. For me, the loudest noise I can hear, noise I'm most aware of, is the sound of rushing water. I don't know where exactly it's rushing. It's foggy out here, so I can't really see it, but I can hear it and I love it. That sound is so comforting. I can hear all kinds of birds, even some birds I don't hear normally where I run. I can hear my footsteps. I can hear my breathing. What did you hear? Some birds or some geese. All right, next. What do you feel? Work your way through and check through your body. Pay attention to the ones that are less obvious. Maybe it's something minor. Somewhere like a random hair tickling your back, or a slight, I don't know, I'm trying, can't think of another example right now. Maybe it's a slight stirring of your stomach. That's definitely what I'm feeling. Okay, I'm going to give you some time. What do you feel? Pay attention to your body here. I apologise if you heard some kind of break there. I had to restart recording. I was trying to pull my sleeve over my fingers and it tapped the recording button, so it stopped recording. So apologise about that. If you heard anything, you probably didn't. Okay, so what do you feel? Giving you that time to... Well, now I'm doubting myself. Did I give you that time? I think I did. No, I really can't remember. I apologise if I'm not giving you any time. I might just give you a few more seconds in case. What do you feel? Morning. Yep. I cannot remember. Definitely unorganised this morning, but it's okay. What do I feel? Well, the primary thing I feel and felt was my fingers going completely numb. Definitely they're pulsing, they're throbbing, they are not happy. I just can't understand how I would have needed gloves when a few days ago I was running in 90 degrees, or for the last few weeks I've been running in 90 degrees and unable to cool myself down. So that's what I feel primary. I feel my socks and my shoes, I feel my hair bouncing, I feel my shorts on my legs, I feel my knees touching. What about you? Is there any part of you that is painful or something you need to get checked? If it's still bothering you later in the run, maybe we should consider figuring out who you could go see, go speak to, or go do that thing you've been putting off that you know you need to. All right, let's go for the final one. what do you see? Now, we overuse this one. We overstimulate our eye muscles, our eye sense, and we understimulate the other ones, which is why I start with those ones, because we don't often pay attention to those as much as we should. But we pay attention too much with our eyes. So I want you to use your eyes in a different way to what you usually would. So I want you to take it to the sides as you usually do. As I start, look to the left. If you can, if you're on a trail and you'll fall over if you take your eyes up. Take a walk for a minute while you do this. Look to the left. Look down. Work your way up. What do you see? Pay attention to. Now go in between, looking forward and to the left. What do you see there? Anything you haven't noticed before? Anything new? If you've been doing these with me a lot, and every time you do this you're on the same loop, really see if you can notice something that's different each time you do these. Use your eyes in a new way. Now look ahead. Focus far into the distance. What do you see there? Make your eyes hone in straight ahead. Unless you're looking at a sunrise, don't do that. What do you see there? All right, and turn your head to the right, the diagonal between straight and to the right. Let's start there. What do you see there? Anything subtle that you maybe wouldn't have noticed? And then turn your head all the way to the right. What do you notice there? Look down, look up. What do you see? And I like to do this exercise with our senses, because I just feel it's good for us checking in. We always spend so much of our day rushing around, trying to get more and more done. And we just, as I said a minute ago, just don't check in with our bodies enough. And so I'm really enjoying the fact that you are enjoying these as a way to do that. Because it's important, isn't it? Our bodies need that. It feels calming. I mean, how do you feel right now? Let's just ask you that. Do you feel any different mentally to before we did those exercises? I do. While I still feel confused, I definitely feel a sense of peace and content for being able to just ask my body how it's doing, ask my mind how it's doing, and be a friend to my body and my mind, rather than, as usual, we're like a strict boss who's saying, get on with this, come on, hurry up, you're being too slow, stop getting distracted. So I think it's good for us to check in and be a friend rather than a foe. So I didn't take any of the questions today. I didn't look those up. I should have. I thought today, as I am running in this trail in the woods, that I would just talk to you and see what comes to mind. I've been doing a lot of these in Instagram lives and enjoying them. But sometimes things come to mind just from what we are experiencing in our world. I can hear a woodpecker. Don't know if you can hear that. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And I love to think about that element of things that there is that part of us that craves being in the world we were evolved in, you know? I think often about just the amount of cement and buildings and industrialization we have. Yeah, I don't know about you, while those things in various places around the world might bring me excitement or, you know, joy to explore, there's something about being in nature, surrounded by nature, that makes us feel calm and just ready to take on whatever else we have going. It's like a reset, at least for me. And I also want to talk today about, I've been working on something which I hope to be announcing soon. And we've been learning about environmental justice and how I always thought if you wanted to go into a park, if you wanted to get out in nature, well, that's on you. There's places around, go find them. But actually, they're white spaces. Most parks, and this doesn't just apply to America, you can be critically assessing where you live. Think about the communities of colour. Where are the parks, the spaces for them? Are they all located in, all the well-maintained ones at least, are they all located near white neighbourhoods, in places that white people can access? Is there public transport that goes anywhere near to those places? Probably not, right? And I know that's not the case. I know that is the case because we've been digging through some research and it's shocking. Now, as you know, I'm not the best memory-wise, so I can't tell you what those numbers are, but I will be sharing them soon. But it's just something to think about. Just another element of how fortunate we are if we have access to those places. And just something for us to think about how we can change that moving forward and make sure that everyone has access to these things. Because it's important, right? It makes us, I just said, it makes us feel grounded and whole. And that's one thing I have to say since transitioning over to the trails. Whereas I was so scared of trails, and I felt I needed to do everything on the cement when I was marathon training. And yet, when I would be brave and take one run, one day after a race or something, where I felt I could take the risk, in quotes, to go run on a trail, I always felt good coming off that run. Better, way better than I would have done coming off a run on the road. And I think that is just that feeling the life around you, feeling the, I don't know if it's the energy of these living things, but something, it feels good. I don't really, I think it might be time to turn around in a minute for me. So we've just over 5 minutes left for the 30-minute group. Yeah, let's take this moment to stop and take a picture. Right, here you go, ready? Stop, take your phone out. Yep, get it out. And take a picture. Show me what you see. I tried to do it at a different moment to last time, so if you are doing the same loop, you can show me what you see. Do you hear that? The drips. Or is it like just hear water, the condensation. As I said, it's foggy here. I just love that. I also see right now a lot of poison ivy, on either side of this trail. And I have to say, even though I say this is calming, that brings me a lot of anxiety. Just like, actually that's something I can talk about in a minute. Let's take your picture. If you haven't taken one, take it now. I have paused my watch, so I'll make sure we do the right amount. For all those who are worried about exact amount. Okay, you ready? Let's go again. I want you to upload that photo, tag me in it, and yeah, tell me your thoughts on any of the things we talked about today. Before I get to that, I want to thank Beam for sponsoring this episode, this run. Beam has been so supportive of me, and as I'm sure as you have seen, many in the community. They are a wonderful brand, and actually, in terms of social media, they're really fun to follow. If you don't already follow Beam, go do it. Their social media person, I mean, A+, really good, especially for a brand. But they always have thought-provoking questions, they're always fun and funny, really worth a follow. And tell them I sent you. Make me look good, right? Yes, Beam. So I mentioned I used the Beam Perform in my bottles during my trail race, my trail marathon, which I won. And that worked out really well. Have it in my pack when I drop this rat, remember we have on the end of my phone, the microphone. When I drop that back and grab my pack to go for the rest of my run, have Beam in my bottles. I also have Beam in my other bottle, which is the recovery. And I love that their hydration series has these 3 flavors with 3 jobs that you can use throughout your day. You have 1 a day, you have all 3 in a day. They're just wonderful products that I'm really enjoying. And as I've mentioned before, I don't talk about things unless I would buy them myself. And I really do love the flavors of these Beam products. I love the job of what they do. I love that they make drinking water easier without having to buy flavored water or syrup. Or don't even get me started on Crystal Light. For American listeners, I just do not understand that product whatsoever. I feel like it tastes disgusting and I just don't like it. Maybe that is the British snobby side of me, but then what we call squash in England, which is not exactly a high class, high quality product either. But anyway, back to the point. I love drinking Beam on a daily basis. The 3, the Perform, the Recovery, the Balance, all of them. They are wonderful. And you can get 20% off by going to beamtlc.com. You can get 20% off a subscription. Get yourself that subscription through the summer. Or you can get 15% off if you want to do a one-off, if you want to try it first. beamtlc.com. Use code TINA. I'll tell you that at the end because I do not want you stopping in your run. I want you to enjoy this one. And for the 30-minute group, believe it or not, we are coming up on the final part of our run. So I would like you to do another body scan. Everyone can do this, regardless of how long you're going for. Let's do another body scan. Let's see if anything changed from the beginning of the run. Start at the top of your head. I'm not going to give you any prompts this time. Just work your way down. How's your body feel? Anything different to the beginning? Anything hurting at all. Anything hurting more? Be honest with yourself. Those of you who listen to, I was on the Strength Runner podcast for the 4th time, which was really cool. Jason Fitzgerald has me as his co-host from time to time. But we talked about being honest. You know, sometimes we know that we start a run with a pain and it's like mild, and then by the end of the run or the next day, we know deep down it's moved from mild to a little more aggressive, but we get in denial. Maybe this was mild, maybe this is mild. Be honest. But anything else? Any areas loosened up? How are you feeling now? And then let's do mentally. How are you feeling? Any different? And remember that, if that is the case, how this check-in has helped you, well, yes, and the run too. All right, you can start to slow to a walk if you're in the 30-minute group. We'll do just 2 strides today. Give yourself a minute or so to recover, and we'll do just 2 strides, all of us. But anyway, while you're listening, think about how that, yes, the run played a role, but I also believe a lot of it is the checking in. So see, you know, if you're waiting for something later today, you have an appointment and you're in the waiting room, or you're at a light, or you're driving, that is, or you're, I don't know, walking up the stairs. Take a moment to go through your 5 senses. And obviously, if you are driving, please make sure you keep your eyes on the road. Don't do it while you're moving. But pay attention and see if you start doing a few of those just randomly throughout the day, while brushing your teeth, while sitting on the couch, whatever it might be. See if you do those a few times a day, how you feel. I really would love to know. And I say that because I know the answer, at least for me. All right, are we ready to do just 2 strides? Again, you're not trying to sprint. This is about 80% of as hard as you can. We're just going to be it for 10-15 seconds, not much. If you're walking, just get into a jog for a second there. And you ready? In 3, 2, 1, and off you go. And slow to jog or walk. If you're in the 45-minute group, keep running, even if you need to take it really slow. Shouldn't need to. If you're in the 30-minute group, we'll just take a few more seconds and we'll go again. And then I'll let you on your way. All right, are we ready to go again? In 3, 2, and 1. And slow to a walk or a jog. 30-minute group friends, thank you so much for joining me today in these beautiful trails. I'll make sure I take a photo when I finish this recording so you can see where we ran today. Make sure you upload your picture, tag me in it, and then go to beamtlc.com if you want to get those Beam products. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next Monday, friends. All right, 45 minutes. We have just over 10 minutes to go. And, I had something really good I was going to talk about. What was it? Oh, that's so annoying. something I really wanted to say. It was a funny story, I think. Nope. Seems to have exited the building. I'm really enjoying these runs with you, seeing the various places where you're exploring what you're doing, what you're seeing, and how it's making you feel. Because we just need more realness, don't we? I mean, there's so much that's like staged out there right now. And I, for one, find it really just doesn't make me feel very good. And I constantly am wondering who's manipulating me. How am I being manipulated? And there's no real way of knowing what the truth is of anything anymore. Because first and foremost, I am a believer in science. I want to put that out there. But even with that, you know, that can be manipulated, paid for by companies, changed. But more than that, even if you have that information, the way it is put across to us can be very deceitful, and it can be put across in a way that just completely changes what you're reading. And I don't know about you, but I have a really hard time trusting most things I see on the internet right now, because it just feels like everyone is trying to use any trick they can to get your eyeballs. And I talked earlier about the environmental justice, but also in terms of the doom that is clouding us right now, the narrative that we need to be the one to do all the work with our own environmental carbon footprint. And that's just not the case. Yes, we do need to make changes. Yes, we do need to stop being consumers, to stop buying something new every time we get something that is, you know, not quite ideal. If we get a hole in our heel of our sock or our toes, don't throw them away. How can we at least, can we repair them? And if they are beyond repair, they're breaking all over because you have loved them well, what can you give them a second life doing? Could they be a cleaning rag that you can wash? I mean, yes, we do need to make those choices, but we can only do what we're presented with, you know? And right now, here in America, but I see all around the world, what we're presented with are plastic products, plastic packaging. You have no way around that. You can't say, please can I have that product without the plastic? So how are we meant to change that? That's not our fault. Or cars. Electric cars, hybrid cars are currently expensive. That's a privilege. We don't have a choice as to which car we buy. And that's overwhelming to know that our impact maybe doesn't make as big of a difference as we think it is. But then there's people preying on that. And they are making sure that we do feel hopeless. We do feel there's no point in changing anything. And then what do we do there if we feel like that? Well, we say to ourselves, well, might as well enjoy it while I got it. And that's the way that we continue doing what we're doing. So, as much as making little changes does make a difference, and I often think about the fact that every time I put in an extra step or 5 steps or 27 steps to do something to reduce impact, every time I do that, that's one less plastic container that I'm putting into the environment, yes. But the biggest thing we need to do, as I've said so many times before, is talk about this in every element. It comes into every conversation we have. And I'm not saying become that person who turns it into everything, but do it often, especially if there's something relevant. If you were buying meat today for a party or something, or you noticed how expensive it was, talk to people about that. Wow, I noticed that the meat is costs a lot more every week. Us cutting down, having a meatless day each week, or 2 meatless days, has saved us this amount of money. Buying dried beans and cooking them instead of meat has saved us a lot. Or if the weather is hotter already, you can say, wow, well, climate change is here. I just want to pause for a minute. There's a deer right next to me. Hi. Didn't move. I'm about a meter away right now. He's looking at me. Very cool. Anyway, so keep talking about it. I know it's uncomfortable, but the thing is, who do you trust the most for learning things from? Your friends, right? I know for me, if you type in, again, that manipulation factor, if you type in on a search engine, best, I don't know, anything really, best yogurt, all the major brands with money are going to come up. And so you don't know what to trust. But if you ask a friend, what are you really enjoying? They can tell you their opinion. And so we don't want to be doing it in a really aggressive, you should be doing this kind of way, but just asking them in a curious way. I know it's not easy, but trying to be gentle in the way that you ask and to let them say their opinion and listen. I know that's not easy. I know it's not easy. Listen to their answer. Try as hard as you can to not be formulating your response while they're talking. Listen. And then talk to them about what you know. And you may just plant a seed. But at minimum, you'll put the climate emergency back in their brain, which is important. All right, friends. What do you think about doing a few of these final strides while we're running? No break. I think we should go straight into it. And so we're going to take a moment, and then I'm just going up a little hill. And then we're going to go into a stride, and we'll just jog in between like we did with the ones earlier. Okay, you ready? In 3, 2, 1. And so to a walk or a jog. Here we'll do one more. Give you just another 30 seconds and we'll do the last one. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Okay, and slow down. Great job, friends. For this final minute and a half, I want us to just take another moment. I'll give you the choice. Either scan down one more time through your body or work your way through your 5 senses, starting with smell, finishing with see, and whatever you want to do in between. Just do that for this last minute here. And that, my friends, is a run together, slow to a walk, if that's what you're going to do. And think, how do you feel now? Whatever you just did in that last minute, what did you notice? Any different to the beginning? Is there some anxiety that's come out that wasn't there at the beginning? How are you feeling? It's sometimes easy to finish our runs, and I am so guilty of this, and just launch into your day. Especially with my two girls. Once I go in the door of the house, it's over. My day is back to them. And that's okay. That's the period of life I'm in. You may be in a stressful period of life. You may be just about managing to get things in. But I think it's important to take a moment post-run to take in these endorphins or whatever it is, something cannabinoids, whatever it is that's released, I can't remember, into our body. Because we talk about this, don't we? We talk about the runner's high, we talk about how good it feels, but then I don't know about you, but I often don't do it. I just launch into my day and I don't pay attention and appreciate it. So I want you to do that with me right now. Let's take a deep breath. Everything is okay. You are going to be okay. You're going to get through any tough moments you're in. You're going to thrive. And you're going to keep growing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love these runs. I hope you will upload them and share it so that other people can join in. Do you know what? Seeing where one of you has shared it and then someone else has done it because you shared it, I mean, that just warms my heart. So hi to anyone who's new. I will see you on Friday for a regular Running for Real episode. Be sure to go check out Beam TLC. Use code TINA for 15 or 20% off. A really wonderful company, really wonderful products. And by purchasing those, you support me. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Before we end this episode, I just want to take a moment to shout out my podcast editor, Jeremy Nessel, who has done such a wonderful job of looking after my podcast, taking out all the mishaps in the episodes, while still keeping in the vulnerability and the realness and the rawness of the conversation. This is not one of those podcasts where I take out the ums and the ers and the sometimes the delay in words, because I think it's very important to keep that authenticity. We're surrounded by perfected and manicured everything, and I think it's really important that Running for Real stays that way. So thank you to Jeremy for your work. I also want to thank Maria Vargas and Amber Moore, who are also part of my team. They've been a big part of this community and me being able to build this brand. So just want to give them a shout out too. All right, let's get right back to the end of this episode. I loved it. I loved that I was able to do that run in the trails and you were able to join me. I would love to hear your thoughts on what we talked about today. What do you think? Make sure you upload a picture and share with me. I enjoy seeing these. I enjoy sharing them myself and just imagining that we are running together as one step closer, right? I will see you on Friday for a regular podcast episode. And then next Monday, we will have another Together Run Together. And I can't wait. See you then.